wanted to challenge my students because I know that I have a lot of very academically gifted students, and I wanted to challenge them in a different way to kind of apply the chemistry concepts that we're learning. At the basis of it, chemistry is recycling. We have the law of conservation of mass, that atoms are just recycled in our system, in our universe. Kind of deciding how to lay out the class so that we were doing justice to the project, but also at the end of the day, they have learned those chemistry content that they need. I came up with the project and then approached the City Council about their willingness to partner with us on this.
It was very hard knowing how to get started.
It was a little stressful.
It was super stressful because none of us knew what we were doing except for the leaders.
It was interesting. My mind was kind of all over as to what could be happening with this.
It felt like a good challenge to take on, but we had a lot of help from our teacher, Mrs. Nelson, and a lot of people in the community helped us as well to really figure out what we were trying to do.
We had to pick teams before we knew what we were doing.
I choose my teammates based off people that I knew well and I felt that would work together well.
This is going to be maybe like the math intense that I found in physical science, so I drafted a team that I thought would do well with lots of math, and it wasn't really that. But my team actually had the strengths and what I thought might have been the weaknesses.
What drives recycling is that there has to be an end market for those goods. And so really there's a whole business aspect that we really focused on more in our project because we have to make it fiscally, financially doable for the City Council to implement those plans that we have. Having the students not only come up with a plan but have to create a cost-benefit analysis for their plan, I think that just made it so much more real to life because that took it from the abstract into the concrete of, okay, what is this really going to cost us? What are really the benefits? So really the really cool part of this project was really it was driven by, okay, what's the next step? Instead of me having it all lined up, the students were able to come up with what do we need to know. And that was a very valuable skill, I think, as they're getting prepared for the real world where they're going to have projects that they need to decide how to attack and how do you break it down into smaller pieces, what am I going to need to know. I felt like that was a really important part of the process, and it was nice that I hadn't already gone before and laid it all out for them. I knew where they were going to need to end up, and I had some things set up ahead of time, but really those ideas initiated from them.
250 surveys we gathered from the town of Oakland.
Who recycled, what they recycled, why they didn't, if they didn't.
Got Grant Ziebold's report. He did a report for Oakland on our city dump so we could see what needed to be fixed, what we could recycle even. We went to First Star Recycling and communicated with them.
We came up with our 3-point plan, which actually ended up changing about 5 or 6 times before the end of the project.
The grant writing was definitely the most time-consuming piece because we don't know what the City Council, what steps they are going to adopt, and that would then determine how we would write those grants. That will be followed up by my next year's chemistry class, so it was not wasted time for sure, but maybe just a little bit dissatisfying because we didn't get to really see that come to fruition.
By the end of it, it was a whole lot easier than I thought because we broke it into little steps, and I think that was very valuable in the learning process.
I felt pretty confident knowing that I had spent 3-4 months on this project.
I just felt like it went really well.
It felt like our work kind of paid off in a sense, that we could finally just present all of this stuff that we've been gathering for basically an entire school year.
We have gotten great feedback in the community. The work that the students have done is real work. It is going to have a real impact and a real change. First Star Recycling has now chosen Oakland as a partner town. They had received a grant and they had to choose 2 communities.
It develops certain skills that people need later in life.
It definitely bettered some of my leadership skills, my communication skills.
Teamwork, if you can go into any problems and have that ability to solve a problem.
Communication is like the #1 key. I mean, you have to communicate with each other.
We all have to work together as a team.
It's so much different than a test or a paper. Their work will go on after this year, and I think that they will be able to come back and see those results, which is exciting.